Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is you are about to see the imminent military takeover of the United States government. I have to say, 28 years in radio, I never thought I would actually say that and mean it and have especially the kind of evidence I have to back it up. Okay, let me say it again. I'm going to be discussing the imminent military takeover of the United States government. This comes to us from thedailybeast.com. It says Donald Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn, now firmly entrenched in the lunatic fringe, obviously the Daily Beast. I mean, what Christian would call themselves the Beast? So they've already identified themselves. In the lunatic fringe, told a conference this weekend that he supports a violent military coup in the U.S. Video from the Dallas confab posted on social media shows. Flynn was asked by an audience member why what happened in Myanmar can't happen here, unquote. As the audience of conspiracy theorists cheered, Flynn responded, "No reason. I mean, it should happen here." Myanmar's military in February seized control of the country, detaining leaders, and it mentions a name I can't pronounce here, claiming their election was fraudulent. The junta has since killed 800 people in a brutal crackdown. Flynn's public support for an American version had critics on social media calling for the former Army general to be court-martialed. In other words, Flynn is saying there's no reason that there can't be the imminent military takeover of the United States government. That's what he's saying. Would you like to hear him saying it? Here is the audio clip of it.
I'm a simple Marine. I want to know why what happened in Myanmar can't happen here.
No reason. I mean, it should happen here. No reason. But that's right.
I'll play it again.
No reason. I mean, it should happen here. No reason. But that's right.
I have even more information, more confirmation. May 31, 2021, BenjaminFulford.net. Headline, World Military and Intelligence Agencies to remove Western civilian governments. See, all of this time, I thought that the internal revolution, as I've said several times, was just got to be a bunch of rioting in the streets and, burning buildings. And I never somehow I missed, I don't know, maybe it was God, that it's actually a military overthrow of the government, the people overthrowing good government. And so I never caught that. But the other thing is I didn't catch is that this is not just America, but this thing is happening around the world. Now, let me read Benjamin. A decision has been made at the highest echelons of power that the world is just not working. I'll read it again. A decision has been made at the highest echelons of power that the world is just not working. And a wholesale revamp is needed, according to a senior European royal. In particular, the ongoing pandemic is entirely a drug-pushing effort and means that, quote, all of the world's civilian governments are suspected as engaging in genocide, according to MI6, CIA, and other intelligence agencies. To summarize, the world's military and intelligence agencies have come to the conclusion that Western civilian governments have been hijacked by a satanic cult and need to be removed. Now, we've talked about that. That's the Moloch and the Baal worshippers. This is the same spirit, the same God that Moses broke the Ten Commandments, because when he came down off of Mount Sinai, all of the children, 3,000 of the children of Israel, had made themselves a golden calf and were worshiping it. And so consequently, they killed them all. And throughout the Bible, the Moloch and Baal worshippers, you look at Elijah, even the prophets of Dagon, the only way to get rid of them, according to what the examples in the Bible show, is to get rid of them. You know what I mean? Now, back to Benjamin. The process is being started off with the removal of the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Mossad sources say. This particular character is a very difficult one, and the only way to remove someone like him is to manage them out, the royal family source said. The implication is that Netanyahu possesses plenty of blackmail insurance and needs to be given certain guarantees in exchange for relinquishing power. Now, here's the interesting part. On Newsmax this morning, I heard them say that apparently Benjamin Netanyahu is on the way out. And I thought, wow, that's another confirmation. And by the way, I've got another confirmation on what I've already said so far. Anyway, let me finish the article here. The implication is that Netanyahu possesses plenty of blackmail. In any case, even Rothschild family-owned propaganda outlets like AP are now reporting his removal. And that's what I heard on Newsmax. After the removal of the de facto most senior sitting Khazarian mafia leader, Netanyahu is who he's talking about, a campaign will take place over the summer to cleanse most civilian governments. I'll read that again. A campaign will take place over the summer. So when? Over the summer, to cleanse most civilian governments, multiple sources agree. A separate MI source located in the Americas confirmed action on the ground saying, quote, something really big is taking place now. Senior members of the cabal are going down. Gates is out of the system now. He has disappeared. Not a word was spoken about him. Now it's Fauci's turn. Then guess who's next? Matt Hancock, followed by Boris Johnson. Humanity is waking up. Now I have to give a disclaimer. I cannot verify a word of what has been said here. I mean, I'm just a lowly pastor that does a radio program based on Bible prophecy and what the prophets are saying. So I have no direct proof on this, so if you don't want to believe it, then that's fine. But what we do have is if you believe in God's prophets, then we have a lot of proof because I have three different people that are saying this is true. All right, now, I have some more evidence, and I may come back to Benjamin Netanyahu's long article here, which is very powerful. Now, again, I don't always endorse what he says, but in this case, you might want to go read that. However, I thought, wait a minute. If Myanmar really had a coup, I ought to be able to find that on the internet. Oh, yes, I found it. Here it is. Headline. At least 550 people killed in Myanmar's military. Now, by the way, this is CNN, so you know from which direction they're going to be talking about it, okay? The people that won are the good guys, what they're going to say. Kind of like Biden is the good guys, all right? CNN, at least 550 people have been killed by Myanmar's military in the aftermath of a coup, which overthrew the elected government on February 1, according to the Assistance Association for Political Prisoners, an advocacy group based in neighboring Thailand. Security officials have responded to dissent with brutal crackdown and detained thousands, including at least 11 people arrested in Myanmar's big city, Yangon, Friday. Now, the point is this. Apparently, the same thing that happened to Donald Trump happened in Myanmar. In other words, the bad guys cheated and got in and did not allow the good guy that was really elected to get in. So basically the same thing happened, and there's bloodshed down here. And here's another article, also from CNN. Myanmar's, and I can't say the name, charged with violating state secrets as wireless internet shutdown begins. And it goes on to tell how they basically shut down the whole internet in the whole nation of Myanmar. Well, when I heard that, I thought, okay, this is not just Benjamin Fulford saying this. Apparently, this really is happening. In other words, the internal revolution is not just happening in America. So I went to Wikipedia. I'm only going to read a paragraph here. 2021 Myanmar Protests, Wikipedia says. Protests in Myanmar, known locally as the Spring Revolution, began in early 2021 in opposition to the coup d'etat on 1 February, staged by, I can't say the name, the commander-in-chief of the country's armed forces. I can't say that word either. As the 23rd of May 2021, at least 818 protesters and bystanders, of which at least 44 were children, have been killed by military police force. Okay, so we got three different sources here saying that, yes, there was a military coup because the good guys won, but the bad guys cheated. And so apparently this big worldwide coup, this big worldwide kick out of the bad guys is really going on. Now, that's the big thing. That's the big news for what we're saying. Now, again, I may come back to Benjamin Fulford, but let me back up and just refresh your memory. The word internal revolution, the correct definition is the overthrow of a government by its people. The overthrow of the government. Now, in America, how would you do that? Well, that would look like the military would roll down Pennsylvania Avenue and take over the Capitol. Dmitri was told the fall of America will start with an internal revolution in America started by the communists. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. The government will be busy with internal problems. Then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and 2 other countries will attack. The Russians will bombard the nuclear missiles in America, and America will burn. Then Terry Bennett comes along. The angel Gabriel visits him in 2010 and says for a while America will have a fractional government. The military will have to step in and seize control of the government. The military seizing control of the government, that's a coup. That's an internal revolution. He says you call it a coup, but in all honesty, it'll be to help our nation. That's why the military will step in. Then, April 2 of 2021, we have a third witness, Jack Rigney. I saw an armored battalion of tanks in the dream. Humvees with roof-mounted machine guns and armored personnel carriers with cannons go to the Capitol, the Supreme Court, and the White House. One group went to the Capitol, one to the Supreme Court, one to the White House. They went in and disarmed all of the guards, and then they took whatever they wanted. Now, I wonder, right after January 6th, I wonder if the reason that some 76,000 National Guard troops were brought into the Capitol, into Washington, D.C., I wonder if that was Trump doing that. I doubt it. My suspicion is that it was actually, I think, that the conspiracy knew that Trump would turn around and bring a military coup. So they brought the National Guard in as a deterrent. In other words, what the deep state was willing to do was to pit our National Guard soldiers against our military soldiers in a big war right there in Washington, D.C. Apparently, that's what they were willing to do because they don't want to lose power. Well, it's not just America. Now we see that it's all around the world that they're planning to do this. Let's go back to Benjamin Fulford. These purges will prepare the ground for a complete revamp of post-World War II institutions, including the UN and the BIS. That's the Bank of International Settlements. There has been a coalescence among the world's intelligence agencies because we share a common enemy. A common enemy. Now, let's pause. What is the real common enemy? Well, of course, it's Satan, but specifically, the religion is the Moloch and the Baal worshippers that believe in human sacrifice, eating humans, drinking their blood, having sex with children, killing people openly. These are the worst of the worst. It's the most vile religion in the world. And unfortunately, they have all the money, have all the control, and according to Benjamin Fulford, another place, he said that there's about 1 million of them. And they don't control the low or the middle positions. They own and control the top positions, money, banking, church, yeah. The CIA, which is a consortium run out of Switzerland, agrees, according to senior CIA sources. He says these sources have come to the conclusion that if urgent action is not taken, billions of people will die by the autumn. I'll read that again. If urgent action is not taken, when? When did it say? Over the summer. Billions of people will die by the autumn. Now, is that saying that there's some kind of a pandemic, a new virus to be released, or a big war coming? I don't know. I do not know. But I do know that there's some big changes about to happen to the world. As part of this campaign of removal, MI6 has decided to publicly name the person who ordered the murder of Princess Diana Spencer. And that was, and I'm going to skip that part, Queen Elizabeth was not involved and had him removed as soon as she found out that he was responsible for the murder. And I'm going to skip that part. These men are both DVD agents, and I do not know what a DVD agent is. I thought it was digital video disc, so I don't know. and traitors of the United Kingdom, according to MI6. These revelations have put number 10 Downing Street in a blind state of panic, the sources said, noting their servers were down. To summarize, the DVD has been on a massive killing spree ever since World War II that culminated in their seizing of power of the U.S. in the coup d'etat that followed 9/11. I can't say that either, the getting rid of one person, I can't say that, as long as certain things I just can't say. As long as we see the fake presidency show and fake pandemic pushed in the media, we have to keep fighting. Now, that's his personal opinion. He says the rabbit hole goes very deep. Basically, though the world's military and intelligence agencies have finally realized that a cult of Sabbatean Frankist Jews really is trying to kill most of the global population, they realized that the ongoing, quote, pandemic was just, quote, another 9/11 or, quote, another Fukushima being carried out by these genocidal, fanatical lunatics. In other words, that's how they worship their God. It's by killing people. I know, us Christians, we can't even imagine that. I understand that. But you have to understand that's just how evil Lucifer is. When asked, how in the name of God did these people seize the world, a senior European royal said, quote, the Rothschilds are particularly dangerous people. They are beyond evil. As an example of their mafia-like compromise and control system, the source described an incident where, quote, beautiful children, I can't say that. I can't read that. But I'll say it this way. A really, really, really bad thing was done in front of a lot of big, powerful leaders, and they were videotapes watching this, and then they used that as blackmail. See, that's one of their favorite techniques. As a matter of fact, I can't prove it, but I suspect a lot of people in politics are blackmailed. That's why, for example, all of the Democrats always vote the same way. Now, the Republicans, they're all over the place. Back to Fulford here. Furthermore, the Khazari Mafia planned long-term, making it very difficult for normal humans to comprehend. For example, quote, the Rockefellers staged a ritualistic, bloodthirsty orgy at a groundbreaking before the World Trade Center buildings were built, the royal family source said. In an incredible extent to which this blackmail and compromise network runs is why a truth and reconciliation process is needed for the people who are unwillingly dragged into this cult. In any case, the Rothschilds are going to be told to back off, and the BIS will be dissolved. Now, when it says the BIS will be dissolved, what they're really saying is they're doing away with a paper currency system, according to finalwakeupcall.info and also Charles Turner in his dream, where he saw that, also Shane Warren said he saw dollar bills blowing worthless as leaves in the wind. Now, I'm going to skip down to another part in his article, and believe me, I would love to read all of this, but if I read this, they'll just take it down, okay? And then they do that once or twice, and then they just turn off your channel. You know that, and I know that. So I'm going to let you kind of fill in the blank. So blank is operating 24/7 processing detainees. There are 4 teams working 6-hour shifts with 3 persons in the, can't say that word, team. There are currently tens of thousands of prisoners in a multi-level underground prison facility near the blank place. Special operations forces and Marines are the only ones being used to make the arrests of the cabal and their minions. So what they're saying is, as I've been telling you, that these arrests have been ongoing. They've been going on for about 3 years, since about 2017, somewhere in there. Okay, let's go on. We can confirm that Pentagon and the British Commonwealth, the Chinese, the Vatican, maybe that's okay to say that, the Black Sun, the Asian secret societies, the Russians, and many other groups have decided enough is enough. A team of over 1,000 lawyers and over 10,000 medical experts have begun legal proceedings against the I can't say and I can't say and the I can't say. They have full military and agency backing. The U.S. DJT is involved, and his team are operating out of the complex near Colorado, and it is a Space Force installation and defensive bunker. It is operated by the United States Space Force, and the same is the blankety blank 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 place. And the Pentagon. It's important that you get as much as you can here, okay? The Pentagon and CIA sources also say that this blank Air Force is the new, I guess I can say this, Area 51. They say that Russia and China are competing with U.S. military white hats to get a solid base there. This is because of vast underground mineral reserves found there, including gold and rare earth elements. A relative of Admiral Byrd of Antarctica fame says that the base is the center for operations for the U.S. Space Force. We have access to off-world technology. We've been talking about that. We have access to off-world technology. That's all of your UFO stuff they're about to reveal to the world. Off-world technology are in constant contact with our off-world family, working side by side for the advancement and freedom of humanity, he says. It is interesting to note that the members are also talking about space and UFOs these days. The new head of the can't say that, and a big internal discussion with a collaboration of the is involved not only but the P3 and also the P formations. The commander already can go to. Okay, well, I think we probably gleaned as much as we're going to be able to say on the air from this article. So what's the point? The point is, from many different sources, we're looking at the imminent military takeover of the United States government. According to them, sometime this summer. As you recall, Mike Lindell of MyPillow said that he's been with Trump, spent a lot of time with him. He says that Trump's going to be back in control by August. Now, again, I can't prove a word of this broadcast, but based upon what Dimitri and Terry Bennett and now Jack Rigney have said, we have three different people. And, of course, when you're talking about Dimitri, that's the highest credibility, in my opinion, that you can get outside of the King James Bible. So we have two different people that have had the angel Gabriel come to them and tell them this. I think it is safe to say that the world as we have known it is about to cease to exist. There's about to be big changes, and according to them, sometime this summer. I think that's a very good way to say it. Sometime this summer. So what do we do? Well, obviously, the first thing we do is we make certain that we have Jesus in our heart, because we don't know how many more days we have left, how many more heartbeats we have. We don't know. So let's make certain that. Let's also make certain that the people that we love, and that's not just family, but including family, our work friends, church friends, business friends, the waiter, whoever, make certain that they have Jesus in their heart. Also ask ourselves, if you can't leave the four walls of your home for a year, are you prepared? Do you have a water filter? Do you have water? Do you have food? Do you have a way to heat your home? Do you have a way to see that if hoodlums are out shooting people, that you have a way to, and by the way, Revelation 13:10 says, and he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and faith of the saints. So if they're coming after us because we have not taken the mark of the beast, then it's saying, don't kill them. What? Yeah, in other words, our only option, if they're coming after us because we have not taken the mark of the beast, our only option is to run and hide. However, other than that, then, we can defend ourselves, at least hopefully we can. Another thing that we need to think about is, okay, so if we do have to flee, though we have preparations, but all of a sudden we see we have to flee, that's where we want to have at least a handful of gold and a handful of silver. And if the suitcase nukes go off near us, then we want to have things in our home and our cars working again, and that's where going to empshield.com, putting in the promo code PROPHECY can help you. So if you need freeze-dried food, something that will work and is edible in an emergency, you go to heavensharvest.com. Promo code there is STAN. If you're needing precious metals, Go to cornerstoneassetmetals.com. You heard that I read you. And by the way, just mentioned Prophecy Club, but I read you the article last week that is saying that silver is about to skyrocket. And of course, that's what Shane Warren was told back in, 2010. He heard the audible voice of God, so he say that silver is going to skyrocket and far more than gold. Now, I'm not telling you to buy anything. I'm not giving you any financial advice. This is a prophecy program. But that's reportedly what he said he heard. So as for me, in any excess money, I have already put in silver, and I keep searching my heart. Lord, show me. Matter of fact, I prayed this morning, Lord, show me what I need to do to get prepared for those things that are coming. Would you like a shortcut to be able to understand Bible prophecy, especially the book of Revelation? The shortcut is to write out the book of Revelation, then get yourself to the School of the Watchmen, June 11 to 13. Write out the whole book of Revelation. Well, it's not a requirement, but if you want a shortcut, yes, that's the shortcut, because that will help you to understand it in ways and in depths perhaps no other way you can. Write out the book of Revelation. Go to prophecyclub.com, get signed up for the School of the Watchmen, June 11 to 13. June 11 to 13, prophecyclub.com. Write out the book of Revelation in a spiral ring notebook and bring it to the School of the Watchmen. I'll lay hands on you and anoint you to receive the spirit of revelation. Then I will teach through the book of Revelation to make you an anointed teacher of Bible prophecy. June 11 to 13, prophecyclub.com. The School of the Watchmen, June 11 to 13. As our way of saying thank you for your support, we are giving you the ability to watch I Saw the Dollar Dead by Daniel Davis from now through the end of June. He's the guy that said, I saw a man say, America as you have known it has ceased to exist. All property lines have been dissolved, and the U.S. dollar is worthless. Then the second dream went into, I saw a father jump out of the SUV saying, I need a full tank of gas, but the man said, sorry, we don't take U.S. dollars. It's available free at watchprophecyclub.com. Through the end of June, go to watchprophecyclub.com. Daniel Davis, I Saw the Dollar Dead. You can watch it for free through the end of June. In 2017, I memorized the book of Revelation. I was shown a secret door linking the feasts to the prophecies of Revelation. For the first time, the book of Revelation can be put in correct chronological order. You can understand Bible prophecy. We offer them in shrink-wrap sets of 5. 1 for 20, but don't do that. 5 for 35 or 10 for 60. What is the most important information to every beating heart on the globe? After accept Jesus, it would be, don't take the mark of the beast. Those taking the mark of the beast do not get soul death, but are tormented in the lake of fire and brimstone for eternity. How do you tell them? Give them, miss the mark. We offer them in shrink-wrap sets of 10. 1 for 20, 10 for 30, and 20 for 50 at prophecyclub.com. Over the past 32 years, I've collected the best 101 prophecies from Dimitri Duduman, Michael Boldea, Leslie Johnson, Henry Gruver, Shane Warren, Terry Bennett, Marie Sklar, Augusto Perez, Doug Metzger, and more. It's called God's Warnings for America. We offer them in shrink-wrap sets of 5. 1 for 20, but don't do that. 5 for 35 or 10 for 60. My new book is called Tribulation, Secrets in Daniel because that's what it does. It shows you the part of Daniel you need to know, being you're about to be a tribulation saint and will desperately need to know and understand about the last days you live in. We offer them in shrink-wrap sets of 10. 1 for 20, 10 for 30, and 20 for 50 at prophecyclub.com. In How Pre-Trib 1, I expose the dirty little secrets pastors don't want you to know, which is why sometimes they can't preach the truth, especially about the rapture. Then, using the secret door, I explain the truth about the rapture, and then I rebut 25 claims pre-tribbers use to prove pre-trib. You'll finally know the truth about the rapture. We offer it in shrink-wrap sets of 10. 1 for 20, but don't do that. 10 for 30, 20 for 50 at prophecyclub.com. That's prophecyclub.com. This is the best deal we've ever offered at the Prophecy Club. You get 10 How Pre-Trib 1, 10 Tribulation Secrets in Daniel, 10 Miss the Mark, 5 God's Warning to America, 5 Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy, 40 books, gift of $100 at prophecyclub.com. Everyone is in a panic. No one is taking credit cards or dollar bills anymore, but they are taking silver coins. Call cornerstoneassetmetals.com, mention Prophecy Club.